day 12 of exposing black history because like it literally just didn't even happen. You've heard the story a million times. 14-year-old Emmett Till just whistles at a white woman in 1955 Mississippi, gets lynched by a bunch of racists, and then becomes a martyr of the civil rights movement. Iconic photo, open casket, total injustice, right? That's not the whole story though. So in her 1955 trial testimony, Carolyn Bryant, the store clerk, said Till didn't just whistle at her. He grabbed her waist and tried to pull her behind the counter and said, "I've f***ed white women before." So she fought him off, terrified that he was about to rape her. This was an isolated country store. The police could take hours to arrive. It was like no small thing to threaten a woman like that in a place like that. Also, contrary to popular belief, Bryant never went back on her story, even in old age. Black people even tried breaking into her nursing home to lynch her before she died in 2023, motivated by fake rumors that she had admitted the whole thing was just a lie. And that rumor was started by a liberal professor named Timothy Tyson. So Tyson did a recorded interview of Bryant for a book about the case and claimed that Bryant confessed to him that she made up that Till attacked her. Unfortunately for Tyson, although the rest of the interview was recorded, for some reason Bryant's confession wasn't. What a coincidence. So the author made the claim that she recanted her story 10 years after he interviewed her, but he just didn't record that part. And she denied this along with her daughter, who was also present, and coincidentally, this claim from him was made right around the time he was trying to sell his book. The FBI investigated, said this guy's story was totally inconsistent and that he had literally no evidence. Also, Carolyn was working on a memoir before her death, literally titled More Than a Wolf Whistle. So Tyson told the FBI and journalists that his recorder was broken that day, that he did record it, but it was lost. He confused important dates, claiming the confession actually occurred before he'd even met Bryant. Tyson even edited Bryant's book after the supposed confession, though he lied to the FBI about this, and for some reason, he didn't object to her at all, giving the same story of Till attacking her that she'd given many times before. So the DOJ concluded that Tyson's story lacked credibility. The whole Emmett Till white guilt narrative lacks credibility. Anyway, when this happened, Bryant didn't even tell her husband Roy about the assault because she feared that he'd beat the kid. Roy actually found out from a customer at the store who was also black. So Roy Bryant and J.W. Milam kidnapped Emmett Till with the help of two black men, as witnessed by Willie Reed, who saw them all drive to a barn. So the killers pistol whip him, and then in a 1956 issue of Look magazine, Bryant and Milam said that they only planned to assault and beat Emmett, but he kept insulting them and bragging about his sexual assaults of white women, so they snapped, killed him, and dumped his body in the river. And people will think I'm trying to justify this. Absolutely not. This was a horrific killing. You don't have to believe everything said by the people who killed Emmett Till, but it also was not just random racism against an innocent boy. What do you think is going to happen today if a 14-year-old white teenager goes up to a black woman in a store and grabs her and says something like that? What do you think? If this were purely about race, why were black people involved in what happened to Till? Again, I am not justifying this at all, but I'm just asking, why do we hear a limited version of this story from 70 years ago to prove that today America's racist when we never hear about the opposite, even though it happens literally every year? Cannon Hinnon, 5-year-old little boy shot in the head by a black man while playing in his front yard. Did you hear about that? Julian Wood, 3-year-old little boy stabbed to death by a black woman in a grocery store parking lot while walking with his mom. This was all just the past few years or so. Are we gonna learn about any of these kids in school? No. And when's the last time this happened to a black kid, by the way? It's probably been a minute, right? Otherwise we'd all know about it, like we all know about George Floyd, some career criminal who pretty obviously died from a drug overdose and the strain of resisting arrest. So if you want to have the conversation, we have to have the whole conversation. I'm not going to be guilted into wanting to dismantle law enforcement and pay reparations because of something that happened 70 years ago. Truth matters, and I love black people.